all across America and around the world. This is Veterans Radio. This is Veterans Radio.
Welcome to Veterans Radio. I am Jim Fausone. I'm the officer of the deck today. We've got some great programs for you. I think you'll find very interesting. We always want to remind you can find more about Veterans Radio at its Facebook site or by going to veteransradio.net, where we're on the web 24/7. You can find a lot of our podcasts there as well. We post new ones every Tuesday, so you can get a new story, a new interview, something you didn't know before by going to veteransradio.net. And before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors. First up, we want to thank National Veteran Business Development Council, NVBDC.org. It was established to certify both service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses. You'll find out how they can help your business by going to NVBDC.org. We want to thank Legal Help for Veterans. Legal Help for Veterans fights for veterans' disability rights all across the nation. You can reach them at 800-693-4800 or on the web at legalhelpforveterans.com. Welcome, I am Jim Fausone, and this is Veterans Radio's Spotlight on National Veteran Business Development Council, better known as NVBDC.org. Veterans Radio America, a nonprofit, has a partnership with NVBDC, which is the nation's leading third-party authority for certification of veteran-owned businesses, really of all sizes. NVBDC is a 501c3 nonprofit established in 2013, and it addresses the growing need to identify and certify both service-disabled and veteran-owned businesses for government and commercial marketplace. NVBDC administers a rigorous certification process designed to withstand the scrutiny of governmental and corporate entities seeking to utilize certified veteran-owned businesses. And we want to welcome to Veterans Radio today to talk about his company and about NVBDC, John Piekarski.
Thank you very much. Ally Construction. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. We are actually in our fifth year of certification through the NVBDC, so I'm really proud to announce that. We just got our certification finished up here this summer. So our fifth year in certification, and we've done a lot of great things in our growth in the company and what's happened. We started out about 5 years ago. I purchased the asset from Jones Lang LaSalle, a large real estate services firm. I was running their construction department in Philadelphia for 5 years, and they exited the at-risk construction market. I was able to buy the asset and started up Ally. We are a veteran-owned business, and we are very proud to say 25% of our workforce are veterans as well.
Well, John is a Navy veteran, and we're going to talk about his service a little bit. But, John, tell us a little bit more about the services that you provide.
So we're an at-risk construction management firm, meaning that we hire and execute all the construction work for large-scale. Right now, we're in the life sciences world. That's the majority of where we do our business. And we subcontract all that work out. We don't self-perform any work. We don't, as I say, swing hammers or turn wrenches. But we have all the subcontractors that are qualified to do that work. We work with them. We manage the schedule. We manage the costs for the clients and execute those projects, bring them to close, and open up those facilities in different capacities. We work in the lab space for life sciences. We do a lot of infrastructure improvement work, a lot of substations, some medium voltage work. So we're kind of anything that happens in a campus setting. You think about a college campus or pharmaceutical campus that keeps it operational and running. We get involved with that in keeping the maintenance up and I should say the maintenance projects that we help to keep the facility up and running.
And why was it important to Ally to go through the NVBDC certification process?
Well, for us, it was twofold. So we did get ourselves certified through the VA, but we knew that the runway for us was going to be very large. And with a couple of things with the VA that holds us back is that the sizing, which we surpassed in a couple of years. ourselves, but also one of our largest clients is a corporate member of the NVBDC, and it's one of our big things. Staying with the clients that work with those different organizations like the NVBDC, they're doing things to help veteran-owned businesses like mine continue to strive and grow. And we started with 14 team members in the company, and now we're at 43 team members right now, running projects all over the PA, New Jersey market for us.
Well, and you said earlier that you've got a lot of veterans in the company, and I think that's always been the goal of veteran-owned businesses is, hey, if we support veteran-owned businesses, they in turn will support other veterans. Is that the sort of way it's worked for you?
Absolutely. And, a couple things that we do even further. So my personal philanthropic opportunities are focused around the veteran community. I'm the New Jersey State Manager for the NVBDC's JROTC program. We're also a Department of Defense approved skill bridge provider. We have one skill bridge intern with us right now active, and one who is a full-time employee who finishes internship with us back in March of this year. We're also part of the American Corporate Partnership on the mentorship program. I personally am one of the mentors. I actually met with my mentor today. We had a great conversation about some opportunities he has going on for himself in buying a business that is looking really good for him. So I'm really happy for him and was able to give him some good advice. So yes, one of the big things that we try to do is make sure that we're circling back, bring veterans and veteran opportunities for veterans and veteran spouses and military spouses into the company. I'm on my way down to a job fair at Little Creek Amphibious Base in Virginia, and next week I'll be down at the CB base in Mississippi at a job fair next Friday or Thursday, doing some recruiting with those guys. So we're trying to bring in the tradesmen into our space, because that's really what we need to hire, is the guys who know how to build stuff and run projects.
Well, John has over 20 years of experience in commercial construction, and so he knows what he's looking for on those recruiting fairs with military guys who are transitioning out, because they're going to be great employees, they're going to have a great skill set. But John, talk a little bit about the certification process with National Veteran Business Development Council.
So what I'll tell you is it is definitely be prepared to be asked a lot of questions that you need to answer candidly and forthright, because it's invasive, and it's made to be invasive to make sure that people like me, who are veterans running businesses, are actually the people out there running the businesses, and ensuring that the opportunities that are being put out there for companies like mine are truly for companies that are ran and operated by veterans.
One of the things that you mentioned that I know with Keith King, founder of NVBDC, we've talked about a little bit, but I'd like you to expand on, because of your role as chair in New Jersey, is the NVBDC JROTC program. Talk about how you're supporting the JROTC.
Yeah, so I'd love to. It's a really fun thing of mine, because not only is it a way for me to give back to future veterans in the process of their furthering their education, but I'm actually able to do it with my alma mater from high school, where I went to school. So for me, it's great, because I'm giving back to the community that I grew up and kind of worked my way, I'll say, out of, work myself into a better community and a stronger community. Not that there's anything wrong with the past community, but it was a stepping stone, I'll say, and I'm helping. My college education was paid through the GI Bill. I didn't have an opportunity to get some of the other opportunities that are out there now. So it's been great. We've had 2 candidates so far that we've had through our program. I've been a state manager since the kickoff of the program itself. So my piece to it is we help find the people, the candidates to be selected. We select that candidate, and then I personally do the fundraising to generate the $10,000 over the 4 years of their college. So they get $2,500 a year over the course of a 4-year college degree, and I do the fundraising on the outside to bring the money in to help support that endowment for my students through the state of New Jersey, along with all the other state managers who do the exact same thing for a wonderful, great program and a great way to give back.
Well, it is, and again, it's the value of a veteran-owned business. The owner of that business gets to be involved in these kinds of things, and it has a little more muscle behind it because you are a business owner. So I suspect that if I ask you the obvious question, hey, would you recommend certification for other veteran-owned businesses? I'm hoping the answer is yes.
Well, Jim, you asked that question, and just Friday I did an introduction of a veteran-owned business gentleman I had the opportunity to have reconnect with and have lunch with. Realized that there's so many similarities that we have. I did an introduction to him and Keith on Friday to get certified, because he's certified through the VA, but he wasn't convinced yet about the value of the NVBDC certification, and I convinced him of that Friday with some of the conversations that we had. Not hard convincing at all, just some of the conversations and benefits that I've gotten through the program that really brought it. The individual's name was John as well, to John's attention, and wanted to pursue that further. So I know that they're doing that. So long answer to your question, and short one, yes, I would definitely recommend it to other veteran-owned businesses.
Let me turn now, if I can. Let's talk about your service a little bit, because you and I talked off air, and we don't get to talk to many Navy guys, so we're glad to have a Navy vet on. You served from 1991 to 1995. Tell us a little bit about your service.
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to be on the commissioning crew of the USS George Washington. We were commissioned in Norfolk, Virginia, and Barbara Bush was our sponsor. I got to go on the maiden deployment, which included being the ship of honors during the 50th anniversary of D-Day. And then from there, we went on to our Mediterranean cruise. It was a wonderful experience for myself. I still have some of the best friends of my life from my Navy days. And it was just, an experience as a young man to be able to see other parts of the world in a different capacity, and even though we worked hard, we still got to pull in port and have a good time, and just working on the flight deck of an aircraft carrier is an amazing experience as a whole that most people don't get to say that they've done, let alone been on.
Oh, absolutely. Now, we've got a lot of ground-pounding Army guys and Marines, grunts listening to this. John, tell them what a plank holder is.
So plank owner. So I am on the commissioning crew of the U.S. George Washington, which means that I officially am entitled to a piece of the ship when it's decommissioned, but it will be way past my lifetime. But having been on the ship's company on the commissioning, you become a plank owner, and it's a pretty cool feeling. I got my plank owner certificate hanging in the office upstairs, so it's fun stuff. So
it is a great honor, and I've never talked to anybody in any of the maritime services who didn't highlight that as one of the cool things that they got to do when they were in service. So I wanted to remind a few folks who've never heard the term what it's about. Now, as a Navy guy on an aircraft carrier, you also had a really unusual job. Again, break it down simply for the Army grunts who are listening to this. What'd you do?
Sure. So imagine you're in the middle of the ocean, you have a fire. Who do you call? Well, you got to call your first responders. That basically was what we did. The crash and salvage department on the flight deck was your flight deck first responders. Now, in the Navy, everyone is a fireman when a fire breaks out, but we were the people to be there first. We still had halon at the time. We know that's been banned for good reasons, but we still had it on our little firefighting machines. We had some AFFF, and something broke out. We got there first, and then everybody else got in. So, sitting in the middle of the Persian Gulf with a silver fireman suit on was hot.
Yeah, they give these guys this little tinfoil suit and say, "Go, hey, that plane just crashed on deck. Go in there and fight the fire." You also mentioned two things which now in 2022 ought to raise some eyebrows, right? Halon and AFFF, which is right. PFAS foam. Tell us about those exposures.
Yeah, so we did some firefighting training down in Jacksonville. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but in those fire pits, there's a lot of exposure. Let's say I've been fortunate; I haven't had any problems, but I also wasn't drinking the water. So
no, and
only drinking from a fire hose, as they say.
Yeah, most of us can joke about that. It's a real problem for some folks, but it does highlight that. military service, even when it's on, a non-point of the spear conflict, has its own set of risks, and the guys in the Navy certainly have had those exposures as to just kind of doing what they do. Tell us a little bit, Jen. Why'd you decide to buy the assets of and start Ally and say, hey, I'm gonna take this risk and go forward, because every business is a risk. So was putting on that tinfoil suit to fight fires. Talk to us about accepting that risk.
Yeah, I think when I've thought about this several times and been asked the question, it was the people that I worked with that were still there servicing our clients. I had 14 team members come over when I did the transition. 10 of those people are still working with me today. Five of us are the leadership team of the company. So I have 10 years of tenure with my leadership team and a handful of my other senior people in the company. And when I first started and thought about it and the idea of it and how crazy it was, and then I got people convinced to do it with me, and I'm like, okay, this is great. We're going to do it, and we're going to take off, and everything's going to, we're going to ride into the sunset. We were able to keep our team together and then grow that team back out into what Ally is today. 43 team members in the company, providing construction management services across multi-complex type of projects in the pharmaceutical space.
And I want to back up. You mentioned when we were talking JROTC, the unique opportunity that provides to kids for maybe going forward with college. Mm-hmm. You picked up a Bachelor's of Science degree from Rutgers University. You also have a construction management certificate from Drexel University. You've got some project management training and certification from George Washington University. The guy who picked up all that training wasn't the guy who went into the Navy, was he?
No, it wasn't. It was the guy after he went to the Navy who realized a lot of value in education and different things. And he got a pretty good deal when he got his GI Bill, because it was affordable to go through Rutgers back then on that kind of money. And I was fortunate to both get the experiences in an in-state school at a reasonable tuition and have that opportunity from some of the sacrifices that I made going into the service and serving my country.
As you look forward for the business, give us a little bit about where you're going. What's the plan?
So we are our next 5 year plan looks a lot like our past 5 years, which is continuing to acquire a couple really good clients. So we've done 1 to 2 new clients every other year, which has been able to allow us to scale and continue servicing the clients that we do have. But part of that is getting the workforce at Ally to 50% of our veterans, or 50% veterans, which is why I'm going to these job fairs, as I talked about earlier, down on the bases to try to get in line with these people who are getting ready to get out, to have them have a good, solid place to transition to. We have some good opportunities for our company to expand into the southern market and further into the northeast market that we're working on. And they are, candidly direct results of my membership with the NVBDC, of some of those opportunities that are coming up right now that I've actually over the last couple of days that we've been fielding. So as that happens, the vision that I see is that our company has 50% of our workforce are veterans, and we are executing more projects, and we've acquired a couple more clients, and we're not trying to service everybody, because that would be a bad idea, and that's a recipe for failure.
No, and you have a great niche, and it's an expertise niche that you have to have. I'm impressed by the 93% of your revenue is generated from repeat clients. That's an owner's dream. And as you say, you currently have 25% of your employees are U.S. military veterans, but you're working hard to get to 50%, an admirable goal as well. John, if folks want to know more about Ally Construction Services, how do they find that out?
That's it, allyconstructionservices.com. Go right on that website. You see a lot of things about us. We have a great marketing department really does an awesome job of getting all of our case studies up there, making sure to really get and really promoting our people on social media about the projects that they're doing and completing. It's one of the things that truth be told, the marketing department is my wife, Catherine. She's director of marketing, but I'm not saying all those nice things because she's married to me. I'm saying because she does a great job at it, and really, she really takes Ally's brand to another level when it comes to the social media presence and making sure that we're staying out in front of that stuff. I'll be candid. I'm not the social media guy, but I know, as a good leader, you have to have people in places to do things where your weaknesses are. And that's one of my weaknesses is social media. And that's why we have somebody who makes sure that we're not weak in that front and we look proper and appropriate for the market.
Absolutely. Again, you've got to hire talent, and that's why you're going off to these job fairs at bases to seek more talent, and that's really the recipe for success. John Piekarski, we really appreciate you spending some time today with Veterans Radio to talk about your company, but also to talk about NVBDC, National Veteran Business Development Council, which works hard at not only certifying veteran-owned businesses, but I know from their work they work hard at making sure that that certification means something and to help you network and help you grow your business. John, thanks for your time today.
Jim, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being able to talk a little bit about the wonderful experiences that I've had both in my military career, my professional career, and with the NVBDC and all the great things that Keith and his team is doing out there. And a big shout out to the person who keeps all the glue together on the back end, Amy Applewhite. I know she's the one who's making.
And I want to thank everybody for listening to Veterans Radio today. I am Jim Fausone. It's been a pleasure to be your host. I'm a veterans disability lawyer at Legal Help for Veterans, and you can reach us at 800-693-4800 or legalhelpforveterans.com on the web. You can follow Veterans Radio on Facebook and listen to its podcasts and internet radio shows by going to veteransradio.net. And until next time, you are dismissed.
If you have a VA claim denied by the Board of Veterans' Appeals, contact Legal Help for Veterans at 1-800-693-4800. They're experts in handling cases before the U.S. Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims. Their number again, 1-800-693-4800.
We again want to thank our national sponsors, the National Veterans Business Development Council, NVBDC.org, VA Ann Arbor Health Care System, the Vietnam Veterans of America Charles S. Kettles Chapter, Ann Arbor, Michigan, VFW Graf O'Hara Post 423 in Ann Arbor, and the American Legion Press Corn Post 46, also in Ann Arbor. We appreciate all your support. You can go to veteransradio.net, click on the sponsor level, and continue to support keeping Veterans Radio on the air. And until next time, you are dismissed.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.